Hello, 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 and welcome to Starting the Day the Right Way 5-minute devotion for April 20th, 2021. All right, I found myself in 2 Kings chapter 4 today, and oh my gosh, what an incredible chapter of the Bible. Remember the old saying, I want to be like Mike? Well, after you read 2 Kings chapter 4, you're going to be saying, I want to be like Elijah. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'm just going to strongly encourage you to go in there and see the possibility of how God can use a man or a woman or a child for that matter, right? So right tonight, I'm going to focus on verses 18 through 36, okay? And this has the title of this particular portion of scripture is the Shunammite son restored to life. Now, just to give you a little bit background, Elisha often traveled through Shunem, and there was this well-to-do Shunammite woman. And she said to her husband, listen, this guy constantly travels back and forth, and we host him for dinner. Let's build upon our house, and this way, when he comes, he has a place to stay. I mean, who does that? Would somebody do that today? Maybe for a relative, maybe for our parents, but certainly not for a stranger, right? Even though that man, Elisha, was constantly coming through town. Anyway, because of this, he asked what she needed, and she said, really, nothing. And then he asked his servant, Gehazi, and he said, well, she doesn't have a son. And so Elisha, who was a prophet, said, in a year, you're going to have a son. And sure enough, they were. Some years passed, and picking up the verse in verse 18, this is where we are. So the child grew, and one day he went out to his father, who was with the reapers. Okay, he said to his father, my head, my head. His father told the servant, carry him to his mother. After the servant had lifted him up and carried him to his mother, the boy sat on her lap until noon, and then he died. Verse 21. She went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God. So she went up to the addition on the house and put him on the bed that was meant for Elisha, the man of God. And then she shut the door and went out. She called to her husband and said, please send me one of the servants and a donkey so I can go to the man of God quickly and return. Why go to him today? He asked. It's not the new moon on a Sabbath. That's all right, she said. She saddled the donkey and said to her servant, lead on. Don't slow down for me unless I tell you. So she set out and came to the man of God at Mount Carmel. When he saw her in the distance, the man of God said to his servant Gehazi, look, there's the Shunammite. Run to meet her and ask her, are you all right? Is your child all right? Everything is all right, she said. This was to the servant. When she reached the man of God at the mountain, she took hold of his feet. Gehazi came to push her away, but the man of God said, leave her alone. She is in bitter distress, but the Lord has hidden it from me and has not told me why. Did I ask you for a son, my Lord? She said. Didn't I tell you not to raise my hopes? Elisha said to Gehazi, tuck your cloak in your belt, take my staff on your hand and run. Don't greet anyone you meet, and if anyone greets you, do not answer. Lay my staff on the boy's face. But the child's mother said, as surely as the Lord lives and as you live, I will not leave you. So he got up and followed her. Gehazi went on ahead and laid the staff on the boy's face, but there was no sound or response. So Gehazi went back to meet Elisha and told him, the boy has not awakened. When Elisha reached the house, there was the boy laying on his couch. He went in, shut the door on the two of them, and prayed to the Lord. Then listen to what he did. He got on the bed, lay on the boy, mouth to mouth, eyes to eyes, hands to hands. As he stretched himself on him, the boy's body grew warm. Elisha turned away and walked back and forth in the room, and then got on the bed and stretched out on him one more time. The boy sneezed 7 times and opened his eyes. Elisha summoned Gehazi and said, call the Shunammite. And he did. When she came in, he said, take your son. She came in, fell at his feet, and bowed to the ground. Then she took her son and went out. Wow, right? Incredible. Now, there's a couple of things here that really jumped out, and I just want to share the couple of things. But like I said, Chapter 4 is filled with so much. You could probably spend a month or 2 or 6 months on this chapter. I promise you. Anyway, I want you to notice a couple of things. 2 things here. The mother was laser focused and Elisha was laser focused. How do we know that? Okay. Well, when the mother got on the donkey and told her husband, not her husband, her servant, go ahead and don't stop unless I tell you. So she was laser focused and she was going to go to this man of God. Okay. Likewise, when she got to the man of God, Elisha said to his servant Gehazi, go straight there. Do not stop to talk to anybody. Don't say anything. Just go straight there. So when we have something that God has told us to do, we need to do it. We need to be laser focused. We live in a world that is looking to take away distractions, not take away distractions, give us distractions, right? And it is constantly bombarding us with one thing or another, especially if you're on social media. My gosh, how do we have time to live, right? All right. Now, here's the other thing. And I'm going to there's actually a third thing that I have to work my way through and see what it means. The second thing is Elijah got on this boy. And picture this. Obviously, the boy was laying motionless on the bed, right? Now, the picture that I got was a picture of the cross, right? And that's what Scripture tells us, mouth to mouth, eyes to eyes, hands to hands, okay? Now, his hands could have been at his side. It could have been outstretched like the cross, but the picture that I was getting was the cross, okay? There are miracles for you today. There are miracles for me today. God is in the miracle business. He is not done with the miracle business. So if you've been believing for breakthrough in finances and physical, whatever it is, in a job, especially amongst this pandemic, okay, there is a miracle answer waiting for you. It is on the way. It is coming. Don't give up on that. Okay. Now here's what I was questioning that I'm going to have to dig into. Okay. Why in verse 35 did Elisha get up from the bed and then stretch out on him one more time? Interesting. And then why did the boy sneeze 7 times? And then he opened his eyes. Now, 7 is a very biblical number. There's lots of meaning behind that number. Okay. I'm going to dig into it. But like I said, get into this chapter. You want to be excited. You want to be encouraged. What God can do through man, read this chapter. All right. I hope it was a blessing. God bless. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Bye.